Welcome to the Upside Down podcast. Upside Down is a donation-based coffee shop, art gallery, and community space located in Westwood Village, right across the street from UCLA.
We are owned and operated by a nonprofit organization called Jews for Jesus. On this podcast, you will hear anything from an interview with one of our barista staff, one of the artists exhibiting artwork in our cafe, or some of the content of our community events in the space.
I'm Ben, and I'm one of the managers of Upside Down and one of the hosts on this podcast.
And I'm Rachel, and I'm the media assistant for Upside Down and also one of the hosts on this podcast.
We hope that you'll come visit us here at the cafe.
Or you can visit us online at upsidedown.com. Now, let's get into the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Upside Down podcast. My name is Ben, and we have a very special episode today. We are, for the first time, doing this in the cafe, which has been a dream of ours for a little bit. So we're very excited to be doing this. We got a whole fancy setup. We got waters. We got a little plant. So I am here with Jeanne, who is our gallery coordinator. So she's responsible for this. Not the designing of the art, but the placing of the art. Or the art coordinator? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not at all.
So she makes all the magic happen. And then Jeanne, I will let you introduce our special guest today.
Thank you so much, Ben. So today I'd like to introduce to you Ronen Pollak, this gentleman right here. He's our artist. For this show that's up right now, it opened July 19th. It runs through September 6th. Ronen Pollak, a visual artist. He's a composer, a singer-songwriter. He is an art therapist and an art teacher. Did I miss anything?
You got most of it.
Welcome, Ronen. Thank you for being
really
here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Well, shall we begin?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Ronen, we've known you for a little over a year now. Feels like it's been longer.
Yes.
Which is a compliment when you say that to someone. That means you're comfortable. You were one of our artists in our Formless and Void show that opened last October 2024. He created a beautiful abstract expressionist piece for our Formless and Void show, and we got to keep it.
Yeah,
we commissioned it.
That's upstairs right now, right?
It is upstairs. We
beautiful.
Get to see it every day.
I love looking at that. Yeah.
Actually, I'll save that surprise for the end.
Okay.
So we've known you for about a year, and it's great to have you back this summer for your own solo show.
Thank you. It's really great to do a solo show here with you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, we were really looking forward to it.
Wonderful experience.
Good. So before we talk about the show, Ronen, I'd like to learn a little more and let our audience know a little more about you. I'd like to know, tell the audience where you were born and when your journey with art began.
Okay. I was born in a small town in Israel, a small town called Nahariya. It's in the north, on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful beaches. It's kind of like Santa Barbara, but cuter.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
It's even
but
cuter?
It was a small town. Like everybody was riding bicycles when I was a kid, and it's known for...
Are they fishing? What are they doing for a living out there?
No, it's everything. I mean, you have businesses like everywhere else, and people commute to a bigger city to work, and there's a certain element of tourism, and because it's a beach town, you know. So that's where I was born and grew up, and I think from a very young age, I felt or knew, I should say, that I had some special love with art. I remember maybe at like 3 or 4 at like a pre-K or daycare or something, that I was drawing something and it got a lot of attention from the teachers. And then when my mom came to pick me up, they called her inside to show her, and everybody made a big deal of my... I remember doing a sailboat in a stormy sea, and it was very colorful. So
So it is
I remember that, and
recognized-
then throughout my childhood, and then I started just going to the library to look at art books and I just started like painting and making stuff, sculpture and stuff like that. Always.
So it was recognized at a very young age.
Yeah,
That you
yeah,
were-
and then I had a teacher later that really I think she took a liking to me, and she talked to my parents, and they sent me to some special class and whatever. You know, I think when I was like maybe 9 or something.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I was going to ask. We've worked with several Israelis now since I've been here, and do you think that Israel was a good launching off place for artists, or is it now?
I think that growing up, I think that yes, that we got exposure to a lot of art and culture in general. I think they made it important back then. And then I ended up going to an art high school. And so,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, and doing that was after a year of failing at a normal high school.
The other subjects,
the math and all of that
just
stuff.
let you do art,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And then through that school, we got exposure to opera and theater and like really great going to museums and
Oh, that's
all
what
of
you
that.
needed.
So
Yeah, it was an art school.
Was that where music came into the mix for you?
No, music was also there. Like I always liked singing as a kid, and then I always dreamed of playing guitar, you know. And then I think my dad got me a guitar. Maybe I was in the 3rd or 4th grade or something, and a friend of his was showing me a little bit around, and then I kind of learned on my own mostly. So it's
Wow.
So again,
always
young.
been, yeah.
Yeah. I know when you're young, you beg your parents
Well,
for these things.
Yeah,
and
they don't get it.
know what
Yeah.
they're about to unlock. The
Yeah,
child.
it's true. It's. I have a friend of mine who passed away. He was a great artist, a sculptor, and he used to tell me, "You didn't choose art; art chose you."
I've heard that. I've heard
It
that.
really sounds like it.
So
It
yeah,
seems
because
like it just happened.
it's not like I sat there as an adult and said, I think because some people start as adults
Yeah,
and
which is fine.
yeah,
but
there's no
yeah.
one formula, you know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
obviously.
That's with the arts. There's no one formula.
Yeah.
So speaking of artists, are there any that inspire you in particular?
Yeah, I mean, again, growing up and spending a lot of time in libraries, I think I really learned from the masters. So Picasso, big influence, Escher.
You like MC Escher?
Yes, a lot of my ink drawings and stuff that I did for many years, influenced by him. Some of the Impressionists, Cézanne, Monet.
I know you said Rembrandt.
Van Gogh,
earlier.
Rembrandt. Yeah, I mean, I really feel that I was a student of the masters, you know, which...
Yeah, no, that's. I think every good artist studies the masters, and it's a compliment for you to want to imitate them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's how we learn. That's how you
Yeah.
learn to be a good artist.
And then later on, you know, I got into expressionism, and then the American abstract expressionists of, you know, Pollak and Klein and
Yeah, all my favorites.
yeah, and a few others that I can't
De
remember.
Kooning.
Oh, de
You know, de
Kooning,
Kooning.
yes. Yeah, so it's always, and I still love to look at their art, and I still love to go to museums and galleries and all that.
Yeah, my husband's an artist, and he did the same thing you did. He'd spend hours in the library looking at the arts.
Yeah.
At the artists. Okay,
I would ditch school and go to the museum.
you would teach school when you were a child.
When I was in high school, I would ditch school, and instead of going to the beach or whatever kids do when we ditch school, I would go to the museum in Tel Aviv. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice when then in life you find people who like the same thing you do.
Yeah.
I remember you feel a little out of place until you, like I went to So art history, I was a major in art history. And once I got there, there are all these people that like the same thing I do. It's really wonderful.
So one of the times that I ditched school and went to the museum, I ran into one of my art teachers. He called in sick.
He called in
and
sick.
he went to the museum. So this was like our secret, and it was a cool day that I guess that's why I still remember it. Because he took me to a few galleries in Tel Aviv. Like, I didn't know the gallery scene as a 15-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
But he took me and he introduced me to some people. And he was so proud of me for when I did school, I go to the museum, you know?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. It pays to play hooky, I guess.
In that case, I guess there was a good benefit.
Well, let's talk about the show.
Okay.
Let's talk about the show. So our show is Ronen Pollak, Observations of Beauty. So the show opened July 19th. It was a great opening.
It was amazing.
It was
my favorite openings reception.
It was so full. Yeah. We had so many people here, more than I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were packed.
And we had people outside, which it looked full outside. It looked full inside. You did a good job. You sold a piece.
Yeah.
Sold a piece, which is so encouraging.
Yeah.
So there are 12 pieces in this show, and we are sitting in front of just a couple. We don't have this isn't television, so we can't just pan around. So you'll have to come see Ronen's show. It will be up until September 6th. But I wanted to, it's a bit of a retrospective. It ranges from 1996 to 2023. So there are a variety of works. When the art team was selecting your work, we began to notice a theme. So we went to your home. We saw exotic places like the Indian saris and the giant rocks, and these beautiful pointillist pieces of beautiful women. So you had a nice range, some self portraits that are very introspective, but we listened to you as well. And as you talked, what came through was your love of beauty and sort of this need to help others see the beauty. So we listened to the things that you value, and so hence we came up with Observations of Beauty. I hope you like it.
I do. I love it. I think it's
okay. So just a couple more questions before we get to talk about a couple pieces. So, Ronen, what stories do you want to tell in your artwork?
Before I answer that, I just want to say, because you said it was your favorite opening, it was my favorite opening too. Really? I have to say, and in the whole process with you guys too, because this is the first show where I did not decide what's going to be in the show, and I did not decide how it's going to be hanging in the gallery. I totally let it go, and it was a bit of a struggle for me, and even at some point I'm like, why did they select these pieces and not other pieces? Maybe I would have selected. So it was really interesting, and it's great because you selecting them and then the conversations that we had, it gets me in touch with what the original idea might have been and the story. So the stories are sometimes it's really just an expression of mood or feeling or emotion. Sometimes it deals with a spiritual concept or intellectual concept. It's almost like as an artist we invent a problem so that we can solve it.
Oh, interesting.
and some of the stuff that comes up in the minds of artists, I think, and yes, and so beauty. For a long time, I realized that beauty for me was a high value, like wisdom, like peace, like it's up there in the top. and I feel that I feel that first of all we have to acknowledge it, and that if it wasn't important, this world, God could have created this world gray or not give us the ability to see color or whatever. And who doesn't enjoy, flowers and butterflies and sunsets and sunrises and beautiful babies and all of that stuff.
Beauty
like
of nature.
the beauty of nature. I mean, there's beauty everywhere, which is kind of like getting to the point. And I also felt, even as a young man, that people miss out on the beauty.
They
People,
don't.
we run so fast all the time, and you can walk by a beautiful flower and not see it, or symbolically speaking, yes. And but then if you'll see that flower in a photo someone took, or you go, oh my God, what a beautiful flower. It's like, yeah, you walk by it every day and you don't see it.
Right.
So I felt that as an artist, maybe we see beauty. We were blessed with the ability to really see beauty. And so sharing it, highlighting it for people maybe is almost feels like it's part of my mission.
It's part of your job.
As an artist, yeah.
Yeah, that really kind of feeds into this other question that's very similar. What's behind your love of beauty?
So that's I don't know that was a process that I started with thinking about it. Now we can think about it retrospectively and try to intellectualize and philosophize about it. But I think that it's a natural reaction to want to. It's an attraction, and it hasn't been. It wasn't. It hasn't ever been a labor. It just comes to me.
Yeah.
I don't have to, find beauty in something. It's just pops at me. It hits me in the face, And I think I was thinking this earlier today when we were talking, that it's kind of like matching your vibration. It's just like I was saying earlier about tuning forks.
Yeah.
If one of them vibrates, another one starts to vibrate too, or how we say that water always seeks its own level. So it's like, I feel like we want to, maybe it makes our frequency rise in some way. The attraction.
When we see beauty,
when we realize that, because it's there, we don't always see it.
I like the way you describe art. It almost seems like you're responding to just the beauty you see, rather than you have to forcibly create it. It doesn't seem like you have to really sit down and be like, I want to make art. It seems like you're just naturally responding, and art is the product that's coming out of you.
Yeah, I have more paintings in me than I have time in this lifetime to paint.
I believe it. It's cool.
That's great. That's a good problem to have.
Sometimes people go through a dry spell or whatever. I mean, thanks God, I don't have too many of those.
When you do have something in you, are you sketching it down? Are you sketching it out and coming back to it when you get a chance?
Sometimes I sketch without even thinking. I always, wherever I am, like at home or wherever I am, there's always a drawing pad next to me.
Yeah.
And I like using pens to sketch, so I always buy nice pens. So I always have a nice pen, and these things don't necessarily become a painting. Sometimes maybe some parts of it, but it's not. Unless I do, sometimes you do intentionally, you do a study. Like if I'm going to do someone's portraits, I may do a bunch of studies to really learn their face.
Yeah.
But when I paint, I just paint. I don't plan the painting usually.
Okay, so speaking of your painting process, let's look at a couple of your works on the wall. Okay, so this one to my right is called The Fourth Day of the Miracle, 2018. It is probably acrylic. a lot, right?
Mostly, yes.
Mostly acrylic. Okay, first of all, let's help people understand what the fourth day is.
So it's this has to do with the holiday of Hanukkah, where we light candles every day for 8 days, and I
Right.
think I just happened to paint this on the fourth day.
Okay,
So
great.
Um, um,
Yeah, the fourth night.
So
Okay.
um,
I was going to ask you if you were looking at a menorah. So this is also called a Hanukkah menorah. Were you looking at one, or
yeah,
were
I
they?
have one, and I didn't even remember this until I recently moved, and I found this menorah that it's now sitting on a windowsill at home. But
Okay.
so
it was the fourth night.
So it was the fourth night.
You were
and it's-
recording a night of Hanukkah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just love the stability of it. I think I just think it's really monumental. I like the way it's placed solidly in the canvas. But what I also really like about it, besides your Cézanne, your ode to Cézanne right there, with the cubist sort of base to it, this curious bird, which is really majestic, actually, and he's off to the side. He's framing the canvas very nicely, but he's got such a nice organic shape to it. And then that eye reappears over here on the left, and I'm just curious about it. Does that belong to him? And why the bird?
So birds, I've done some paintings over the years with birds, and I feel like, many times this stuff is an afterthought. I have to tell you.
That's fine.
to be completely.
I'll help you with
candid about it, but the birds are, to me, birds are messengers.
Well, that's true.
And so there's some kind of a message with this bird. The bird is looking up. It looks peaceful. It looks confident. It looks gentle, even though it's strong and confident. I mean, the posture. And I feel like it's a message of everything's going to be okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. It is a hopeful holiday. Right.
And it's a holiday that is about miracles.
It is.
And
It's
so it's, I think there's always, just growing up in Israel and around war and all that, there's always a yearning for peace.
right.
And I feel like
Right.
birds, it's kind of like,
Yeah. So Hanukkah is the festival of lights. It's the celebration of the victory over of the Maccabees, the Jewish family who started a revolution against the Syrians, and I think it's 135 BC, and the odds were totally against them, but they overcame the enemy they were just fierce, and God helped them.
Right, and then there's the story of the oil, that because after the destruction of the first temple, they found oil to light the menorah, but there was only enough oil for one day.
Right.
And somehow it miraculous, I can't even say it.
Miraculously.
Lasted for 8 days.
Right.
And
right.
that's the symbolism of that.
That's why we have 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that whole concept of the light.
Yeah.
Right. And that middle candle is called
Shamash.
the shamash.
Yeah.
It means
It's the one that serves the other candles, actually.
yeah. So it lights
It's the one that we are
yeah.
allowed to use. We're not allowed to use the other one. We can only look at them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
You
it's
light it
cool.
first,
That's
and then
what
you
the name.
use it to light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how the message of hope is being delivered in the middle of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes in the middle of things are when we need hope the most. I think
Absolutely.
I like
It was
that too.
quite a victory. And yeah, it's a good painting
Thank you.
Ronen. It's solid.
It's beautiful.
And I love the little bits of curly that you have there. That looks almost like a nice wrought iron.
Yeah, that's a little bit. I was actually really looking at some Matisse.
Yeah, it looks like Matisse.
He does a lot of these kind of textures, so I wanted to experiment with with these patterns. It's not a typical thing for me, but
yeah, it's and then I like your cross hatching with the black.
So I
in
was
your
using
little
a
pockets.
marker,
yeah,
like an ink marker,
yeah, you can.
with the acrylic paint
Yeah, you pulled it off.
somehow.
Yeah. So that was 2018. In fact, a third of the works in this show are 2018. Did you know that?
I knew that when you mentioned it.
It's just happened to
It was
be
a good
that
year.
way. It was.
Good year.
It was a good year.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and your team apparently liked what I
Yeah, I like what you made,
so
and you did
why
a
not?
self-portrait that year, and then you did another one in 2019.
Yes.
So and you'll have to come see. We invite you to come
Yes.
see it. So let's talk about the next one. Is there anything else you want to mention about this one?
No,
About the
not
fourth
really.
night?
The fourth night of the
Yeah.
miracle.
Love the yellows.
No, I just want to say that a lot of times in the creative process, it's just like, again, I'm going to compare to music. It's when you improvise. It's not that you think about
Yeah.
every note, or when you're dancing at a party, you don't have choreography. You're just really being in the moment.
Yeah.
So I feel that it comes sometimes from a higher place or a deeper place than just my own thoughts and designs.
That's wonderful to be inspired
Yeah,
from
I guess
above.
Yeah.
I
That's a
guess
good place to be.
That's what inspiration is.
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one. This
Okay.
is maybe one of the bigger pieces in the show,
In the show,
and it hangs horizontally, which is different from the others. And this one is called Wings of Angels, and it is 2018 as well.
Mhm.
2018. So I looked closely at this, and so there's this wing idea, and you have a story about this,
Mhm.
right? And then, well, why don't you tell the story? And
So this was done with the idea of prayer or meditation for healing for someone that was going expecting going to some testing for cancer and expecting results, and a lot
That's
of
tough.
it's scary. It was a few crazy nervous days, and
yeah,
and I guess somehow I believe that art, maybe all of the arts, have the power of healing in some way, and I think that it's a gift from God. It's not just something that because I have a good eye and a good hand, and that's all it takes to create. And so. So the whole time that I was painting this, I was sort of focusing on this kind of a meditation for this friend, and I always claimed that the painting worked because she got a good test.
that's so wonderful.
So I say my painting worked,
Yeah.
but I kind of say it jokingly, or maybe not, because people do believe in the power of prayer and the
yeah,
power of
by all means.
mind over matter and meditation and so on. So maybe this was my way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
But you said that you made me think about God being a creator, the creator, and
Right.
we're like him in that sense. When we are artists, we're creators,
Right.
and we're
and
we're using the gifts that he.
Yeah, I that's why I was thinking of wings. I mean, because the shape happens sort of organically. And
Yes.
I thought it was like
Yeah.
so. There's like angels protecting this person,
Oh,
and that's why it's wings of angels. And yes, what you said about the creation, I think that us humans we were given the ability to be co-creators in some way, in some ways, I should say, and so I feel that this is how I get to express it.
Yes, by all means. So so looking at this work, up close, I noticed almost like what seemed like a spine, like spines with your little cross hatching and in sort of the crease areas. Do you see? Do you see what I mean? Your little, and it made me think, these are like wings attached to each other, or maybe the human spine. I don't know. I noticed that
I didn't
detail.
Think of a spine,
Yeah.
but so a lot of it is just really in an effort to. When I say to make the painting work, is like I want it to flow. I want the viewer to travel on the painting and not to be stuck in one area. So there's certain things that I do to maybe create that flow.
Yeah.
And also I like playing with the light, and the light, it's a double meaning. I mean, it's the light really, because there's some bright light there in the center especially, but it's also to deal with sort of the spiritual look on light.
Sure. Yeah. God is light. It's a palette that we don't. That's not typical for you. That
You have a sharp eye. No wonder you run a gallery.
Exactly.
Thanks. It works so well with the fourth night. We put them together. We're like, that's it.
And it was probably not too far from each other when I painted these, I think. But I also was using a lot of purple because of the person that I had in mind when I was doing it. Really loves
they
purple.
like purple.
Because
Okay.
if you look around, you don't see a lot of purple normally. Although
A lot of orange.
Although I've done a couple of, I've done a few. I've done a couple of portraits with purple and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, even over here. I like the white. I like this pure, and it's in the middle. It seems sort of like ace in the hole, kind of right where it belongs. Yeah, and I love that organic shape to it. So, yeah.
Maybe that's our DNA. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm still just, I love this idea of painting as a form of prayer. Music to me seems like the most natural form of prayer, or just writing down a prayer, saying it aloud. But the way you were describing this, it seems like in painting it, it was sort of your way of praying.
It's a non-verbal expression or prayer or request or whatever you want to call it.
Praying for your friend.
And I love that because, like you said, God created us in these ways to express ourselves, and we're all unique and we have all these different ways. So I love that idea of like expanding our horizons a little bit on what that sort of meditation or prayer can look like. It's really cool.
Sounds like a show. Well, I think, Ronen, we're getting close to winding it up.
Okay.
I want to ask you, though, what is next? What are you working on? What are you feeling?
So I've been doing a series of paintings lately using pointillism, but different than the way these paintings behind me, which are black and white and using ink and very careful and intentional in creating these peaceful looking faces, right? And I've done this kind of work a lot over the years because I just really enjoy it. But this new series, I'm using color, and I'm calling it explosions of color because it's a lot. And so I'm calling this series Portraits of the Universe.
Wow.
I love that.
And
Portraits of the Universe.
I already have a bunch painted. I mean, I feel like maybe that's going to be my next solo show. And it's playing with a few ideas, other than the fact that it's really a lot of fun to do, because what I do is I combined a random way of laying the paint on the canvas. I literally throw the paint or
Really?
kind of flicker it on the canvas or drip it.
So you're not.
No, and then I do that.
And then
So
you
I'm combining the
pointillism.
intentional with the
Tiny.
non-intentional, because sometimes when you throw paint, you don't know how it's going to come out, and you get some beautiful patterns, and some, if you have two wet colors on the canvas at the same time, you get these things blend with each other the way you couldn't do it on purpose. But then I sit there with a very small brush, and I'm putting like these billions of dots on the canvas, and I don't really decide which direction the canvas is going to be till it's done. So I keep turning the canvas as I work on it, and playing with colors and how they behave next to each other. And so there's a lot of layers. They're very textured. Like if you ran your hand over a painting, you could really feel it's like almost like reading Braille. I wonder what that story is, what that story sounds like. But the idea is, so one of the ideas, I was saying before how the stuff that goes through an artist's mind. So part of the idea is, if you could step outside of the universe and look at the universe, what would it look like? I don't know if anyone has ever been able to document
as deep
that.
as what is
So
beauty.
That's my attempt of documenting that.
Nice.
And then I also try to deal with the idea that the universe is ever expanding. The idea that
I hope it's expanding very slowly.
well, it's expanding at the way that it's expanding. I mean, it's not like something we can control, really, I think. And also that the work of the creation gets renewed each and every day. And so yeah, it's all.
Nice.
I always have this optimism.
Yeah.
And so these are big concepts, maybe more on a spiritual level. And then I have a little bit of a political comment in there, because I say there's like 1 billion dots, and we're living on one of these little dots. And we've been waging war for thousands of years and paying taxes for thousands of years. So I'm protesting those two things.
I think you've earned it.
So
And
it's
you
like, that's what I've been, but I really enjoy doing these paintings. It's like,
Sounds like fun.
Playing. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
It sounds like there's randomness, and then you're going in and kind of adding the controls.
Well, I go back
making-
and forth. Sometimes I will actually start with a pointillism and then go to something else and then go back. And then I take a lot of breaks in these. I let them dry a little bit. I let them drip and kind of see what they look like the next day. And, I feel like the painting... In a lot of my paintings, actually, I feel that the painting finds its own way. Like I don't need to force
I've heard that concept too.
Yeah.
Where you just have to sit back and
it's like
see what it tells you to do next.
It decides where it wants to go.
Thank goodness.
Yes, I say that. Sometimes, really, I think as artists, we have to learn when to get out of the way.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
let whatever is coming through us just come, just kind of surrender to
Well,
it.
thank you so much for lending your work to us. I hope more sells.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to work with you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Upside Down podcast. If you have questions for us, you can email us at hello@upsidedown.com.
Thanks for listening.